These are the top cybersecurity trends to look out for in 2025, and almost all of these trends are going to impact cybersecurity hiring trends and the overall cybersecurity job market, so be sure to watch till the end of this video because this will impact you as a cybersecurity professional or someone who is currently trying to break into cybersecurity. The first trend on this list, and I'm sure one that we've all expected, is more AI threats, deepfakes, and attacker use of artificial intelligence. So what does this exactly mean for us? In the next year, it's anticipated that malicious actors will continue their adoption of AI-based tools specifically for cyber attacks and exploiting various different vulnerabilities. AI and large language models, or LLMs, are also going to be leveraged to develop more convincing phishing and social engineering attacks against individuals, against corporations, and not to mention the increased use of deepfakes for identity theft, fraud, and bypassing security requirements. They expect to observe more evidence of malicious actors experimenting with LLMs and deepfake technology, whether it be video deepfakes or even just audio deepfakes, with someone cloning your voice or a voice of someone you know to use social engineering against you to get any bank information, any financial information, or online account info or passwords. Nowadays, it's even more important not to answer any suspicious texts or phone calls from messages or phone numbers that you don't know or don't expect. However, with the increase of AI being used to exploit vulnerabilities and used for deepfakes and social engineering attacks, the flip side of this is that organizations are also adopting AI and AI-based tools more quickly to also be able to defend their organizations against these kinds of attacks. So if you're currently working in cybersecurity or getting into cybersecurity, get some insight, read some articles, look at blog posts about the different AI-based cybersecurity tools that are out there that are popular, being used by companies and organizations that you're interested in working in, or even specific sectors that are using certain AI tools that you may need to know on the job. So this is basically you getting ahead of the curve for the types of cybersecurity job candidates that employers will be looking for. So there's really a lot of opportunity here to learn how to use certain tools and technologies to be able to give yourself a leg up in the job market, especially coming in 2025, where I personally expect a lot more job opportunities to come out for cybersecurity roles, especially with the increase of security breaches, ransomware attacks, DDoS attacks, and overall cybersecurity threats across the board. And speaking of ransomware attacks, this is cyber trend number 2 going into 2025, especially considering how sophisticated and how targeted ransomware attacks are getting. Data theft and overall extortion are currently and will continue to be the most disruptive type of cybercrime out there. This is specifically quoted from the cyber forecast that I'm referencing. I'll also link the full cybersecurity forecast in my description if you want to learn more details. And this is because the volume of ransomware incidents and the scope of damage, aka how much ransomware attacks are costing companies and costing individuals, is not going to get better in 2025. And in fact, the impact of ransomware and extortion will actually go beyond just an individual level for the initial victim. In 2024, we saw a huge example of this in the healthcare sector, where this negatively impacted patient care at hospitals, prevented doctors from running vital tests, and blocked patients from filling their prescriptions. This is really where it becomes a life or death situation for a lot of people out there. And unfortunately, this is not going to get better unless companies and specific sectors like healthcare, government, and finance are working harder to defend against ransomware attacks, especially when they start at an individual level with just one employee or one individual clicking a link, downloading something they weren't supposed to. And this is where security awareness training is really going to be important, and even more so going into 2025. So hearing all these trends, cybersecurity is a very fast-moving sector, and if you're interested in starting your career in cybersecurity, I'd recommend checking out Simplilearn cybersecurity courses and their cybersecurity bootcamp. Simplilearn's online cybersecurity programs and courses are for learners at any level. Whether you're a complete beginner in cybersecurity and you're trying to break in, or you're pivoting from another sector into cybersecurity, or even for those of you already in cybersecurity but looking to upskill and get hands-on experience on new cybersecurity tooling and technologies. Simplilearn cybersecurity courses and bootcamps are created with their program partners, including CISSP, CompTIA, ISACA, and many other professional organizations. And because their programs are online, they're also flexible enough to be done on your schedule, so you can complete them while also balancing your other priorities. Their cybersecurity bootcamp specifically helps you gain the skills and experience required by companies to protect their systems and sensitive data from cyber attacks through real-world projects in just 26 weeks. This includes getting experience in defensive and offensive security training, digital forensics, pen testing, infrastructure design, and many other core cybersecurity concepts. You'll also get to collaborate with trainers during office hours and project hours, attend live virtual classes led by your instructors and industry experts, and get access to Simply Learn career services who will help you get noticed by top cybersecurity hiring companies. You'll also learn how to use tools like Burp Suite, Metasploit, Linux, Wireshark, Nmap, Python, and more. The application for their cybersecurity bootcamp closes on December 7th, so if you're interested, I would highly recommend taking action now, and you can check out all of Simply Learn's programs and courses directly on their website using the link in my description. Thank you to Simply Learn for sponsoring this portion of the video. And let's get back to the rest of the topics. So another cybersecurity trend that is going to be coming up is faster exploit times for different vulnerabilities that are found in the wild, specifically for zero-day exploits. This means that malicious actors are going to be able to take advantage of exploits a lot faster than they normally, using new AI-enhanced tools to be able to take advantage of them. And this means that companies on the flip side are also going to have to act faster when it comes to doing patches for new exploits that are found in the wild. Personally, I see two things to come out of this. Number one is a heavy emphasis on SOC analysts and SOC teams across the board. And SOC is a security operations center, and they are essentially the front line of defense for companies across the board. And this means that if they see an alert, they have to act quickly, they have to spin up incidents quickly, they have to look into any bugs or anomalies that they get even faster than before, because malicious threat actors are now able to take advantage of them so quickly using more advanced technologies and AI enhanced tools. The second thing is the fact that companies are going to have to spend even more time keeping up with cybersecurity news. This could mean something like a daily review of cybersecurity news with your team. Personally, having worked in cybersecurity for almost 5 years, I saw this a lot more at smaller companies that I've worked at compared to the bigger companies in bigger sectors like banks, for example, because they are notoriously known to move very slowly. So if there is a big vulnerability that is found in the wild, then it could take days, weeks to be able to patch it, because their SDLCs or software development lifecycles might just be a lot slower to just push the code to production for certain changes. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule, but it still takes a lot more time than a smaller company or a startup company even to be able to quickly patch something and roll it out. For bigger companies, this is going to be an issue, and I think this trend is going to be a big problem when it comes to companies that are very slow at releasing changes. But of course, that also means more opportunity for those of you who are coming into cybersecurity and maybe working directly on these security pipelines and life cycles to be able to help things move faster and more efficiently while staying secure. Cybersecurity trend number 4 is the update from passwords towards passkeys. Now, this has already been an ongoing change for the past few years, but you'll see that more so big organizations are making the switch faster from passwords to passkeys. Passkeys are inherently more secure because they are device-based and don't rely on the user to know some arbitrary password. And if you have a random password, then users are more likely to not remember them. Passphrases was something that was also recommended for a while. Nowadays, the NIST framework isn't even recommending for regular password changes because it doesn't actually improve inherent security, which is why passkeys are really going to be the game changer to help organizations stay secure, because there's no way for an attacker to hack into someone's account if they don't have that person's actual device. I also see this change at an individual level. I personally use a password manager, Keeper, and they also now accept passkeys, so you can store your passwords on there, your passphrases, your passkeys. And by the way, if you're looking for a password and passkey manager, I do have 50% off using my Keeper code if you're interested, also linked in my description. But in 2025, we're going to start to see more websites that are not just companies, but also at an individual level, allow you to store passkeys and create passkeys instead of a password. It's going to make your account way more secure than just having a typical password. And finally, cybersecurity trend number 5 on this list is Web3 and crypto heists. Now, we've seen our fair share of crypto scams, Web3 scams in the last few years, especially in 2024 actually, but this is going to unfortunately continue into 2025 with more adoption of crypto technologies, of Web3 technologies, even with big tech and mainstream companies. As we can probably all tell by now, crypto and Web3 is here to stay, and I don't think that is changing anytime soon. So organizations that use these technologies are going to have to be even more on their toes and more vigilant for the types of crypto scams out there and what their attackers are targeting. Because crypto is so front of mind for so many cyber threat actors and cyber criminals, it's another reason why there are more scams in this space compared to other potential emerging technologies. And of course, especially when you get money involved in cryptocurrencies. Just based on the forecast report that I'm referencing, North Korean actors will continue to pursue revenue generation through IT workers and cryptocurrency theft. IT workers will use stolen and fabricated identities to apply for high-paying software development jobs, and leverage their privileged access to their employer systems to enable cyber intrusions and cyber attacks. If you've been keeping up with cybersecurity news, this is something that we've seen a lot of articles on, especially when it comes to the North Korean IT farms and how they're basically stealing the identities of people, pretending to be that individual and applying to jobs, interviewing, and getting into that company without the company ever realizing until it's too late. So this is an additional trend that I think is going to be an even bigger issue for organizations to really stay vigilant of, because it's harder to tell if an individual is actually who they say they are when they're using a stolen identity. So you can't even get a alert on their background check because they are actually a real person, but they've also happened to have their identity stolen by another organization by a malicious threat actor. All right, so that is it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I would love to answer them. If there are any other cyber trends of 2025 that you predict or you've read about and seen in different articles or blog posts, feel free to let us know in the comments below. Also, be sure to join our Discord channel where we chat about cybersecurity news and a lot of topics like this, and of course helping you break into cybersecurity as a complete beginner. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this video was helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, as it really helps out the channel. I post videos weekly. Don't forget to also stay connected on LinkedIn and Instagram, where I share more real-time cybersecurity resources. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I post videos weekly, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!